Who should the Oklahoma City Thunder take second overall in the NBA draft? My name is Greg Waddell. I'm with Carter, with Nima. This is part of our series, every single team in the lottery. Who should they take? Who will they take? You can watch that over on the Sleepers Media YouTube channel. We just finished our Orlando Magic video, in which we all sort of said we thought they should take Chet, but we think they're going to take Jabari Smith. That now tees us up with Oklahoma City. We assume Jabari Smith will be gone off the board at this point. That leaves Chet. That leaves Paolo Banchero. That leaves Jaden Ivey if they want to get creative. And then I think it would really be a drop off to some other guys. Nima, assuming all three of us love Chet, as we do, this is a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, I think it is, especially because OKC, Sam Presti has tenure at OKC. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So if you pick Chet, you either hit a home run or it's just another lost pick. And I think that's the perfect position for OKC. He's the perfect pick for them. You can do whatever you want with Chet Holmgren. And you can build your team however you want around him. I think the pieces they already have with Giddey and SGA kind of moving forward are pretty solid. I'm obviously a little lower on SGA than Carter is, I know for sure. But I do think that Chet is the guy for OKC. And I don't think that there's really anybody else for them to take. I think maybe Paolo if Chet goes number one, but it's got to be Chet.
Cart, you're in the same camp, I assume. First, can you address the SGA comment from Nima there? You're higher on SGA than anybody.
Oh yeah, because SGA is Chimezie. He's that guy.
Yeah, sure.
But it's tough if you got to take the court with a motherfucking Poku on a night-to-night basis and Isaiah Roby, dog.
Wait.
Poku doesn't exist.
Is there zero chance that Chet is Poku 2.0 though?
Zero chance.
Zero chance.
Chet makes Poku, bro. Poku's literally like 170.
Poku doesn't exist.
They got the only.
I'm convinced somebody made him up, and it's like Mandela effect.
They're gonna have the only two guys in the league that are 7 feet tall and 190 pounds.
Poku wishes he was 195 pounds.
He's listed Basketball Reference 7 foot 190.
They have three of the skinniest white dudes in the league, with Josh Giddey too.
Oh, they do a job. All right, no, but for real though, I think it's easy. They can't mess this up. Just take Chet. If he falls into your lap, especially because we just got done talking about how we consider Chet to be the number one pick in this draft, and he basically fell in your lap at 2. And you have for years moving forward, you have Chet, you got SGA, you got Giddey. That's 3 young dudes that you can make something happen with. These guys have to make something happen in the draft. This is a market where they're not going to be able to get people. People aren't testing free agency to go to Oklahoma City. So you got to make it happen in situations like this. And I think that'll give them it'll give them a vision, and it'll give them a young core to be able to do something. Giddey showed some things last year. It wasn't a lot of losing basketball, but I think he's a good basketball player and he has room to grow as well. I'm also extremely high on SGA. I think he's really good. Some don't think he's that great, but he is that great. I really like that team. MVP. I would be adopting OKC as my second team if Chet Holmgren goes there. That's happening.
So I feel like this has been predestined because ever since the Thunder have sort of gone through this year after year long tank again, it's led up to getting some generational dude. I know yes, last year's draft was really good, but I feel like even from a couple of years out, the most Oklahoma City Sam Presti guy has been Chet Holmgren. And now here they are, not even with the number one pick in a draft where most people seem to think Chet's the highest upside guy, and they're just going to unquestionably get him at 2. I also think this is one of the best draft fits in the early lottery. You guys talked about the big 2 names, but they really have no one who matters to me in the front court at all. And we talked about it with Chet. He went to Gonzaga. He played next to Drew Timme. And that was one of the more frustrating things for me and Cart. He looked really great next to a guy who was never leaving the low block, who thought he was a first-team All-American because he was the year before and it was his team. That dude's staying at Gonzaga. Give him credit, but he's still at Gonzaga. And if he could play 20 more years at Gonzaga, he would. But Chet Holmgren by himself is something nobody's seen in competitive basketball other than in the AAU circuit. So I'm very excited to see what that looks like in the NBA. I actually think that's better for him that he goes to a team that doesn't have a true five, even if they're bad. I think Sam Presti's okay with that because you got Wemby coming the next year. And can you guys imagine Wembanyama and Chet on the same team?
He's going to be in Houston, so we don't have to imagine it.
No, that would be.
Wemby's a rocket.
And they get Chet. They get a guy that can knock down some shots too. Like, so like I watched enough Oklahoma City Thunder last year because I was betting on them and because I do love SGA and wanted to actually watch Giddey play. The amount of bricks that team threw up between Dort and whoever else they had on the court, them dudes were
double legend Dort.
Yeah, we're not gonna hate on. Okay, this is not
clanking Trey. So like at least they got a guy who is gonna make you at least put a hand up.
Russ's legacy holds true at OKC.
Who?
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, they're the organization of clanks, I guess. So I like legacy wise, we don't need to spend a ton of time doing legacy stuff, even though Carter and I love doing that. But like
I do love
one versus two stuff, like where there's been clearly a wrong pick made and the best guy fell to two. Like, do we all agree we feel that happening here? Like, how much risk does a team take passing on Chet Holmgren for getting clowned on for years to come?
I don't think passing on Chet Holmgren is like the clown. Like, I think there's a chance that Chet, doesn't really pan out because he's 7'2", like 160 pounds and white. So, I mean, white boy theory still is in effect.
You literally have a white boy on here who is 160 pounds.
Yeah, so imagine Greg at 7'2", and you want to tell me that he is for sure a lock, future NBA star.
Yeah, I would.
Look,
I would, damn it.
That's giving a lot of credit to the other things that I could do on a basketball court if I was actually that tall. Because Chet has a lot more to it. Like he was crossing Steph Curry at age 14 or whatever it was. Like
but nobody's like a sure thing. And there's still gonna be some things that like he needs to just get better at. He still moves like a baby gazelle. Like and at like the NBA is way, way faster than anything you're gonna get in college. Like even at Gonzaga Face. And so like I think it's just gonna be a different game. I think it's gonna take a little bit to adjust. I think maybe year one people aren't even talking about like Orlando messed up the draft by not taking Chet. I think that might be something that 10, 15 years down the line we talk about, but I think the top three it's also close that it could kind of go any way, except I don't see it ending with Jabari being the best player. But I do think with the other two it could go anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree with Nima. I don't think this is going to be a situation where we look back and we're like, oh, you passed on that guy. I think where the real like kind of trouble would come is like who like maybe like reaches for like an AJ Griffin or something like that, maybe in the top 5 or somewhere in that area. And then one of the guys kind of below them is a little bit better. But I feel like we're going to look back on this in 5 years. And I think the top 3 guys, Paolo, Jabari, and Chet are all going to look back and be like, okay, they're good players. Those were good picks. Like, maybe one is a little bit better than the other one, but at the end of the day, like you got 3 good players right there.
Car, you know why you and I are not worried about Chet being 160 pounds and not being ready for the speed of the NBA? Because he has some shit to him. Can you explain that, please?
It's the theory that goes the opposite of Nima. Everyone looks at him, he's like, oh, he's a 7'5", 195-pound white boy from Gonzaga. He ain't got no shit to him. Chet's got some shit to him, man. Like I've seen a lot of games. He is talking. No. Don't you dare! Not on this podcast, goddammit. Chet's got some shit to him, man. Like he does not back down from anybody. As I watched him, even like in high school, I could go back to the game. It was Greg. We talked about it when it first happened. That mini ha game in high school when he was playing against Amani Bates, and it was all on the screen. And he was talking that shit. He was going half court on, this is my shit. Like that dude over there can't fuck with me. Like that Chet has that in his game. I like
in hindsight, that wasn't Monty Bates, but
okay. But at the time, and what I'm saying, he did that throughout his high school career. Like that's him.
Yeah. Have you seen the like him versus Jonathan Kuminga whenever they're younger?
I
There's
have.
like they played against each other. So some guys on Twitter were talking about it earlier this week, but there's like one clip of like Kuminga dunking on Chet Holmgren. Apparently, Chet got him.
Oh,
like,
I see it. Yeah, I saw
Chet,
that.
but
actually.
like Chet got him like 7 or 8 other times during that game. Like apparently he toyed with Kuminga the entire time. I think Chet's gonna be good, but like I said, like I do think that it's gonna be less of like who passed up on one and more. I think it's gonna be a conversation between Chet and Paolo and not whoever gets taken out.
I'm so sad Nima's not all the way in on Chet because he's white.
But the white boy theory is held up. It is held up.
Who was the last great white player taken in the lottery?
Gordon Hayward.
Then there's nobody other than
Actually,
that.
I don't think he was even taking lottery. I think he was taking like 15.
Are we talking?
We're talking American, right?
American.
Yeah, American white boys, because the European dudes get trained differently.
He might be right.
No, there's like 20 in the league, and none of them are very good. There was one.
But there also hasn't been a white prospect ranked.
It's Gordon Hayward. He was picked 9. He was picked 9.
Okay, well, let me tell you the difference between Gordon Hayward and Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren on January 6th was not in the Capitol.
Okay.
He might have been. Where was Walker Kessler?
Also, like Gordon Hayward was not like the recruiting gem, right? Like he was just like the guy who had so much success that he worked his way up and then he killed in some of the workouts. Like Chet's essentially been that dude every step of the way. Those dudes don't normally tend to miss. I have one final question on Chet. Is there anything that Chet is worse at right now other than bench pressing than Evan Mobley? Like, isn't Chet just better, but the same thing as Evan Mobley, but he's better? Like, Mobley was great this year. I don't understand why anyone would have concerns about Chet when I literally think he's just almost identical to Mobley, except skinnier, but better at everything.
I think Mobley, like, not to say this just because like Mobley like did gymnastics and stuff, but he is like an insane athlete. Like something that
I would say that I think I might give like the edge to like I don't know what the like fluidity or something to like Mobley or maybe
like,
I don't know.
Pretty damn fluid.
Chet is, but like Mobley's like Neva said, it's like low-key freak. It's like freakish to kind of.
But I'm not.
Chet's like Mobley's a gymnast.
But this ain't gymnastics. That's the point. This ain't Olympic.
So basically, Evan Mobley's better than.
Like,
hey, put the title on this. Evan Mobley is better than Chet. Hashtag second coming of Simone Biles ? Like,
all right. So who we would all three take, given that Jabari Smith is off the board, it's Chet. And who we think they'll take, it's Chet. And grade wise, I would go A+. Carter.
A+.
Everybody A+. All right. Round of applause. Oklahoma City Thunder. We just did your job for you. Good luck. Hope you don't blow it at the draft.